whatever can't be seen can't be managed. So if you can't get to the gutters, or you can't get to that one whirly bird, or you can't, but how much issues are you causing while you're walking off the walkways to get to look at this?
Yeah.
So we get, when we're engaged by a lot of clients, what we do is we get the old roof reports. Of their annual assessments, just to see the areas that we may need to concentrate on. We're looking at these reports and it says nothing to report.
Yeah, wow.
We'll go there and find 25 things or 100 things.
100 things to report.
But the ones that we can, or the engineers or the builders can mark as high risk or medium risk or acute risk, they're the ones that can be looked at straight away.
Actioned,
Give it to your 3 vendors and say, please quote on just these things only. And then you're going to get your issue fixed, and you're going to get less phone calls, more happy property managers, more happy tenants.
Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Facilities, the podcast where we talk about the insights, innovation, and impact of the FM industry. My name's Aaron.
And my name's Nick, and today we had a conversation with Jamie Green from the Green Sky Group. What did we talk about, Aaron?
We talked all things drones. He and their business use drones to inspect rooftops and help FMs find where leaks are, get into places that humans really struggle to get into, like lift shafts and roof spaces.
Yeah, it was a fascinating conversation, moving away from seeing drones with a camera on them to film something to actually using them in the built environment to solve real problems.
Yeah, and eliminate oftentimes the risk of heights and people working from heights. It was a really interesting episode, and let's jump into it.
Looking for the buyout then? Just be open for change.
Just so good to spread my wings. I actually had to learn to do it because I have a question to every...
My brother had mushrooms growing in his car.
Fantastic spreadsheet is like gold.
Water started pouring on me.
It's such a rewarding career.
Drag them down!
We love you all of our customers.
Well, Jamie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you on.
I'm so excited to see this. I want to jump straight into these things because you brought some toys.
I thought I'd bring some cool toys. I mean, there's one, I can explain all the different things that we do, but I may as well bring in some of the tools that we use to create the digital models and conduct the condition assessment. So
yes.
The first one in the cage it's a brand new drone. It's only brand new to Australia. It's called the Terracross One. It's a confined space inspection drone. So if you think about this as a tool that's going to be used in hard to reach areas, confined spaces, lift shafts, service tunnels.
Yeah.
You may have had a service tunnel that's just recently been flooded and it's unsafe to get somebody down there. This is the exact type of drone that we'd be using. It's got LiDAR positioning. It's got super bright lights and a 4K camera. So it's going to get you the data that you need to know and provide it to the teams, the facility managers, the contractors, so that they know exactly what they need to do or what they're going to be seeing in that area.
So for those people out there like me who don't know what LiDAR is, what does that mean?
So LiDAR is this little part here. So LiDAR is
a little dome, the little R2D2.
Yeah. So essentially what it is, it's light detection and ranging. So what it's going to do is it's going to throw out hundreds of thousands of laser beams a second.
Yeah.
Bounce off any
Can
structures.
you see them?
No.
They're invisible?
Well, to the naked eye it is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to
But if we filled the room with smoke?
Possibly. I've never done that before.
Like Mission Impossible stuff.
But normally if you're walking around a space, your eyes are providing you the reference of what not to walk into.
Yes.
So in a confined space environment where there's no GPS, you can't rely on a satellite signal.
Yeah.
The LiDAR, what it's going to do is provide that positioning tool. So all the lasers are going to bounce off all the walls and the drone's going to stay super stable exactly where it needs to be. The cage is going to allow it to investigate and bounce into walls and bounce into the ceilings and floors and pipes and all of that.
Yeah.
And then with the super bright lights, you're going to be able to get that clear visual 4K video. So you're going to know exactly what the condition of the pipes or where the cables are or where the water's getting in that confined space or say
roof space even.
Roof space. We've done a whole bunch of testing with these in ceiling cavities. So you've got all the roof trusses, you've got all the cables, you've got all the wires and HVAC and all of that.
Yeah.
And this can seamlessly get through any space that's 38 centimetres wide.
Wow.
So the drone's 36 centimetres and as long as it's
got a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
So other drones, my kids have had drones before and one little knock or one hit into a wall and they flip upside down and they're out. this guy
Yeah, so not the confined.
doesn't happen. He doesn't go upside down ever.
No. So that's what it's to do. It's designed to operate in confined space. So it just areas that are just slightly bigger than that, it's fine. It'll hold its position through vision positioning, through the LiDAR and the radar altimeter underneath as well.
Wow.
So, but the cool thing about this drone is once you get back to do all your reporting, you can actually it's building a 3D point cloud in real time. So wherever you take photos, when you're looking on the software at the end, all the photos, you actually get to see where it is in the model. So it's recording as it's traveling through.
Sort of like
the
one of
area.
those little like walkthroughs on a real estate website or...
Yep.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So because
wow.
most of the areas you're not going to know, you may not have service plans. You might be in a cinema ceiling cavity, and there's no plans there.
Yeah.
So how do you know where the photo was taken?
Yeah.
So the software will allow you to be able to visualize exactly where the drone was in relation to the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the photos that it was taken, and then you can provide your report, and it's nice and easy for everybody.
What did people do before the drones were here? How would you act?
Great question.
For instance, like in a cinemas, what they'd have to do is close down cinemas for days and days and days. They'd need to somehow cut inspection outlets into the ceiling cavity, but you'd need to have scaffolding built.
Yeah.
So our clients were saying that they were paying, thousands and thousands of dollars to have scaffold erected.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to have working from height permits. You'd have to have the fall prevention. You'd have to have 1 to 2 contractors get up the scaffolding, and then they'd only be able to look through the area that they've got the inspection outlet.
Yeah.
So now
And the cost of closing the cinema for however many days.
they don't like closing cinemas. They don't like closing anything.
I don't think any business likes closing.
No.
So, for instance, this one, within a morning, we'd be able to inspect a couple of ceiling cavities. And then provide the video data to the facility manager or the asset manager or the builders, and then they'd be able to work out a plan of attack.
Which most facility and asset managers would love. Like most of the facility managers I speak to, I was with one yesterday who the only floor plan they had was the evacuation plan. So it's not to scale. Like they've got no documentation. Nothing's been handed down to them from previous people in the role. And so things like that, inheriting a live 3D map would be an incredible asset.
Yeah. Well, all this technology does is it allows us to provide a baseline for an asset, whether it's externally, whether it's internally. And then it's amazing the amount of people that can now touch that data.
Yes.
They don't actually need to be on site anymore as well.
Yeah.
So we're finding a lot of facility managers are now taking control back of managing their asset. They're not allowing the trade to go on the roof where they thought the leak was and give their opinion of what the issue was and where they think the issue was caused.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as the facility manager, you need to get 3 more quotes if it's over X amount of price. So what they're doing is they're providing that to other contractors. They're quoting on what could be incorrect.
Yeah.
But you do have 3 like-for-like quotes that don't actually fix the problem.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we provide a snapshot in time that the FM gets to view, the property manager gets to view, the client gets to view, and then they provide what needs to be done to the contractors who are providing the right information and the right pricing back.
Yeah, wow.
So it's making things a lot better for the facility managers to be able to finally manage their properties the way that they're supposed to be able to do.
Yeah. So this is like the army tanker.
When you need to get down and dirty, that's what you're going to use.
Yeah. What are the other ones used for? So that's
so normally this is the one that we call the Toyota Hilux of the drones. So it's
the all rounder.
Yeah. So most of the 96% of the drones in the world are DJI.
Yeah.
This is a DJI Matrice 4 Enterprise, and it's generally what we would use on industrial assets to be able to quickly scan the entire property externally. This one has, not that you're going to use it, it has a laser rangefinder. It's got 112 times zoom and a 20 megapixel camera. And it allows us to be able to set up flight plans to fly properties automated and then use that data to create a digital model that's provided to the facility managers to be able to share with stakeholders and their clients.
Yeah, okay.
The one at the front is a brand new product from a company called XGrids. It's their portal cam. And this one now is going to allow us to be able to scan everything internally. So we used to get a lot of requests from clients saying, can we please fly the drone inside and create a 3D model?
Yep.
We used to spend a lot of time with other technology that you'd have a 360 scanner, you'd have to move it every couple of meters.
Yep.
This one now, in around about probably 30% of the time, is going to be able to allow us to fully scan the entire property and then process it remotely and share online as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I keep seeing this cable outside the window shaking like that. I'm like, are they going to fall?
Yeah,
like,
who knows?
And I'm sure this is what stuff, like maybe not this exact example, but it's helping to eliminate the risk of heights, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, look, the facilities manager's role is to make sure that the property is watertight, it's safe and compliant, and risks are mitigated. So it's kind of easy to walk around, or sometimes to walk around a hard stand to inspect the hard stand. But you've got trucks.
What's a hard stand?
Like all the truck movement area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, then you've got retaining walls, but getting to the retaining walls can be a little bit tricky if you've got trucks driving past and everything. Then you've got the facades, which you can kind of see from the bottom.
Yep.
But then you've got the roofs. And as soon as you need to inspect the roof, you need to worry about height safety. You have to climb a ladder. You got to put people in unnecessary risk to be able to walk the roof and find all the different locations that could present problems. The drones are eliminating the need for contractors to get on the roofs initially. So it's not stopping people from having to get on the roofs eventually once an item is identified. But it's going to stop somebody having to abseil down the side of a building to be able to inspect.
Which is terrifying and happening right now as we record.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
With this just one single green rope.
Yeah.
That's what's wild.
Yeah. So even with this, you're relying on this guy to understand the building facade and understand what he's looking at in order to be able to take a photo, or else he's just going to take hundreds of thousands of photos. And he's not really going to know, and somebody has to decipher all those photos. We're not engineers, we're not builders. But we can operate drones safely. We can take all the photos, create a 3D model, and then allow that to be inspected by the professionals. Whether it's the facility manager, the engineer, a builder.
And if it's a windy day, the drone isn't a life, is it? Like if he gets blown around and smashed into the side of a building.
In all the years that we've been doing this, I've never heard anyone fall off the roof conducting a drone inspection. So it doesn't happen. So it doesn't eliminate the builders from having to go on the roof.
No.
But if you've ever seen a roof, there's only so many walkways. The fall prevention's not there. You might have anchor points, but they're spread throughout. So it's going to provide limited access to the areas where somebody can safely get to the areas. Where what I hear from a lot of clients is a lot of the leaks that builders or roofers and plumbers are going to investigate are creating additional issues as they're walking to investigate those new issues. And then in a week's time when it rains, you get new leaks from the areas that they've walked on the roof.
Oh man.
So if you don't want that to happen, use some technology. Have a full drone scan. Get that digital asset, get that digital model, and then you can review everything yourself and understand where things are issues, where the leaks could be, and then you tell the builder or the roofer, this is where I want you to go. I don't need you to trape throughout the entire roof trying to find something. This is where we think the areas are. Can you go and look at that?
How often do those models need to be updated? So you've done a scan of a building. When does how long is that valid for the FM?
Well, normally what the FM needs to do is they need to at least inspect the roof annually. So they either have a risk assessment company conduct the inspection, but they're only going to get to the areas where they can safely reach. So a lot of the time it might be just say half the roof they're going to be able to inspect safely. But what about the other half of the roof? So while they're still meeting their obligations under their management agreement, they're not really inspecting all the areas. So what we find now is a lot of height safety companies, a lot of risk assessment companies are now engaging with us to use the drone technology to be able to scan the roofs on their behalf. And then they're having their height safety team, they're having their engineers, they're looking at everything from a property risk assessment. But then we've also found from some feedback is the FM doesn't want 1,000 items notified. They don't want to see 1,000 issues of dents and all these little things. So we now engage with these companies who will assess all the annotated defects and give them a risk rating of medium, high, acute, and then that's what goes to the FM.
Yes.
Yep. So they know what to take
Otherwise,
action
it's
on.
just gibberish to an FM, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but still, in 3 months' time, they can go back to the model if there was a leak and go,
Yeah.
hang on, there wasn't an issue then.
Yes.
In the last 3 months, we've had these contractors on the roof in these areas. This has now caused an issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then that's one snapshot annually. I mean,
Yep.
with some clients, we do them every quarter as well, just depending
Yeah.
on the type of site that it is, whether it's
Yeah.
a high risk site or what they have on the roof, whether it's plant and
Yeah.
all the mechanical vents and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to what the client needs. But different technology, all it's doing is just being able to provide that snapshot in time to the facility manager so they can better manage the site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other technology we've got similar to the Matrice is we've actually got the Matrice thermal drones.
Oh,
So the great thing about that now is if you've got solar panels or ongoing water leak issues, a quick scan of the roof, we can quickly see what solar panels aren't working.
Wow.
We can quickly see where the water's pooling,
Yep.
and then you provide that information to the trades and you know exactly what you're doing and where you're going.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so with the solar panels that get damaged, everyone's got their monitoring and maintenance. They've got their little app that tells them what's producing and things like that. What I found when I was a facility manager is we never had that baseline data
Yeah.
of what it should be producing.
Yes.
So what that meant was, when we,
No, that's all right.
yeah, so we never had that baseline data.
Yeah.
So what happens now is with the drone, we get the drone up in the air and we can tell you exactly how many panels aren't producing.
Yeah.
What I never realised until I started working with the electrical contractors is even if there's one panel that's not producing, that whole string is out
Oh,
and that's not producing at all. So a recent inspection we did, they had 1,500 panels.
Yeah.
There was 230 odd panels that had issues, hotspots or just anomalies.
yeah.
That was pretty much the whole system was down, not producing.
Oh my gosh.
So here are the tenants thinking they're being, lean and green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their outgoings are going up because the electricity costs are going up.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people don't realise, because we're now engaged by a lot of electrical contractors, is they'll get us to do the thermal scan of everything, point out where the anomalies are. They'll take that information back to the manufacturer. And what the manufacturer will do then is pay this electrical contractor to replace the panels under warranty.
Yeah.
So then the facility manager, the asset manager and owners aren't paying to have their system repaired,
Yep.
Yeah.
but they're getting it back to a state where it should be,
Yeah.
get that new baseline,
Yep.
and then you just do your annual checks.
Yep. Yep.
So we get the facility managers now in their budget time, they're including the thermal scans in the budget line underneath the thermoscan of the switchboards.
Yep.
So as they're issuing the purchase order for the switchboards, they're issuing the purchase order to Green Sky, and we'll
Yeah.
do the thermal scan of the solar panels at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. So you dropped a little nugget before about how you were an FM. So
Yeah.
tell me how you go from being an FM to having these bad boys. And
Short answer is I don't know. So back in 2008, I started as an FM with JLL, so
Yep.
Jones Lang LaSalle. So I was managing Woolworths shopping centres.
Yep.
From there, I went and started managing helping manage the ANZ branches in Queensland and Northern Territory.
Yeah.
In 2016, I went across to CBRE and started managing commercial assets and industrial sheds. And one thing that used to freak me out is I'm scared of heights, but I'd have to every month walk some of these roofs and climb up ladders that were 15 metres high. And no matter what training you do, you're not prepared.
Oh,
I was
absolutely
never
not. I'd be
prepared.
saying no. Yeah. Sorry.
My knees would get shaky.
Get someone else to do that.
My knees would get shaky 2 rungs up.
Yeah, you don't pay me enough to do this.
Try to get up there. But then I'd get up onto a commercial asset, and that was only, partway to the highest point.
Yep.
Areas were never inspected.
Yeah.
And I'm expected to sign off to say, hang on, the building's watertight, it's been maintained properly, and it just clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
So you'd put in your budgets that you'd need additional funds for contractors to do, abseiling or, get scaffolding, and it would always be declined because the budgets needed to be reduced every. So, and I just thought, well, I fly drones for fun. I mean, I'm sure these could be used for roof inspections.
Yeah.
So I started talking to a few engineers that I knew from outside of CBRE, And they said it was a brilliant idea. They engaged me for one job of a weekend to do one roof inspection, and they said, this data is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So I went home and told Ellie, well, we're starting a drone business. So that was,
She's like, boys with their toys.
I don't understand, where did this come from? So yeah, and then almost...
You just want to buy more drones. That's
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, and then almost 10 years later, it's getting bigger and bigger. And a lot of it is not even from ideas that I've come up with. It's clients coming to us with issues or problems that they can't address.
Yeah.
So now we have a bit of a switch where they come to us, and our job at Green Sky is to match the technology to fit their needs and give them the output that they need.
Yeah.
So, and back, just taking a step back, as a facility manager, my role was to make sure that I was managing the building from a risk and compliance perspective.
Yeah.
I had the budgets to manage, so I'd help set the budgets, then I'd have to manage the budgets. But the thing that would always cost the most is just reactive roof leaks.
Yeah.
That's all I seemed to be doing, is just every morning it was a new roof leak. Tenants complaining, the property managers complaining, and everybody thought that, you couldn't run a hot bath.
Yeah.
So engaging now with the drones, FMs are now becoming more proactive rather than reactive. So if we can scan the roof, scan the entire asset, the facade, the hard stands, the retaining walls, they know what the complete asset looks like visually, which is what they weren't getting before. They can now work out all the things that need to be done, give it to the contractors, and then wouldn't it be nice if there was just less issues, less phone calls, because they've now got the data that they can really use to be able to manage their asset.
Before moving into the facilities industry, I never ever would have guessed that the FMs deal with leaks and floods as much as they do. Like
All the time.
do flood restoration as part of our business, and we don't work in that area, but I know that they are busier than any other part of our business. They're getting calls 3 or 4 times a day around the country. Can you come and fix this issue? We've had a flood, we've had a leak, and I'm like, how is this happening all the time across the country?
Look, the FMs, they have the best intention to turn up and be proactive.
Yes.
So they've got to turn up, and they've got their preventative maintenance schedule. There's stuff that they need to do with the fire contractors monthly, 6 monthly, annually, 10 yearly.
Yeah.
You've got your HVAC contractors that need to do the mechanical servicing. You've got the cleaners that might have missed the toilet the day before. The last thing that they want to do is have to deal with things that should already be fixed. It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
And
it takes them away from doing what they should be doing, because there's something that's like...
Even of a nighttime, of a weekend, you hear the storm coming through, or the news saying there's going to be storms.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about your kid, you're not thinking about your family, you're thinking about that property and how many phone calls are going to...
I'm going to have to get onto this. And some of them actually already anticipate it. Like
They reach out to us
we get
before.
calls, hey, there's a storm coming.
Get
Will
ready.
you be ready to go for us? If we need you.
Yeah, and I used to hate having to make those calls, because you guys have got your own families as well. So for something as simple as, you're going to get your roof inspected anyway, you're going to get your asset inspected anyway, right? Do you want to put somebody at risk, climbing a ladder, only walking 50% of the roof, paying them to do the whole job where they can't they can't literally do it because there's not the right fall prevention. They can't walk right up to the gutters. Yeah. You're not going to pay $1,000 for a scissor lift for a day and 2 blokes to operate it, just to be able to go up, have a look at one part of the gutter, back down again and up again.
Yeah.
The drone will do it faster, it's safer, it's more effective, and you're going to be able to get 100% of your asset looked at, rather than just the parts that you can safely get to.
Yeah.
Because whatever can't be seen can't be managed.
Yeah.
So if you can't get to the gutters, or you can't get to that one whirly bird, or you can't, but how much issues are you causing while you're walking off the walkways to get to look at this?
Yeah.
So when we're engaged by a lot of clients, what we do is we get the old roof reports of their annual assessments, just to see the areas that we may need to concentrate on. We're looking at these reports and it says nothing to report.
Yeah, wow.
We'll go there and find 25 things or 100 things.
100 things to report. Like, why haven't these been
but
reported?
Not all of them are high risk.
Yep.
But the ones that we can, or the engineers or the builders can mark as high risk or medium risk or acute risk, they're the ones that can be looked at straight away.
Actioned, yeah.
Give it to your 3 vendors and say, please quote on just these things only.
Yeah.
And then they're working out how they can safely get there, not causing additional issues while they're going, and then you're going to get your issue fixed, then you're going to get less phone calls, more happy property managers, more happy tenants. I mean, the tenants want a watertight property, which is what's in the lease. It needs to be watertight.
It's going to cost them more in the long run to ignore it or put their head in the sand.
How can a tenant be happy paying all the money that they pay in rent for a property that's not watertight?
Yeah.
Yes.
But the only reason, it's no one's fault.
Yep.
The budget's not there. Contractors can't safely get to the area, and they can just guess where they think what's causing the issue. Sometimes it's obvious, like a seal's broken around, like some deck tide or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, water just travels. You might fix up where you think the issue's been repaired, but it will just back up and find the next point of entry. So if you can, at a minimum, once a year, get the roof scan done by whatever technology is needed, that's going to make you help you manage your property better, manage your budgets, and keep the tenant happier.
Yeah. You mentioned that clients will often reach out to you with a problem. So they're not saying, hey, we already know the solution.
Yeah.
Do any stories come to mind that problems that you've solved and how you've worked through it to get there?
Yeah, but a lot of them have been recently because of the thermal drones.
Yeah.
So they're coming to us and going, look, we just think that our solar system's underperforming. We don't know why. We've been given quotes for a lot of money for someone to walk around with the handheld thermal scanner like they use for the switchboards.
Yeah.
But to scan 2,000 panels take days.
Yeah.
And then they've got to try and remember where they were when they were taking the photo and their report and all that. So one of the initial low-hanging fruit is having the thermal drone do a quick scan there. Structural issues where some of the awnings have either detached from the actual supports.
Yeah.
So rather than having somebody climb up in scissor lifts, which takes a little while to engage them, get them to site, have the right people, the drone's been able to find a lot of these issues proactively.
Yeah.
Wow. Top of my head of this.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that when you were in FM, you used to have to sign off on risk and compliance stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a pretty scary territory at the moment. Like there's been some things that have happened recently where FMs have been found liable themselves. It wasn't the company they worked for. It wasn't the business that they were, the building that they were looking after, the insurance covered it. They were fined because they were negligent in their role. So I imagine that builds the case for this so much more as an FM to go, well, I don't want to sign off on something that could be doing harm to people.
That's a good point, yeah. So essentially, when I was in FM, I looked at my role as, it was pretty simple. I was given a property to manage. When that property was built, there was a certificate of classification put on the wall that listed all the essential services. Right. Every year, you'd have an occupier statement that would be issued once all of those services were serviced and maintained to Australian standards. There was nothing that I ever had that would say that I had to do specific things on the roof other than a roof inspection. That meant nothing. I mean, I wasn't providing full safe access to everybody. There was only certain walkways, there was only anchor points, and there was no fall prevention. But we were expecting trades to go and find these things. What I would do, and what a lot of facility management companies do, is their job's to manage the risk on behalf of asset owner or the owners. Then all we'd do is we'd mitigate our risk by engaging a third-party risk and compliance company to go and manage all those essential services. So we'd engage with, the fire contractors, the HVAC contractors, and then a consultant to be able to review to make sure that all of that's been done. But with the roof, there was nothing. So if I had the technology like this, I mean, that would have been able to prove to the property managers, the asset owners, even lawyers, if something happened, that we were maintaining the asset. We were going above and beyond and covering everything fully.
It's more than just the report though. We do a lot of slip testing and slip testing rectifications. And just recently had a new client that we've been talking with who they've been getting their slip testing done every year, but they didn't know how to read the report. And they had no idea they were failing. And so they showed us this report and said, the only reason we knew we failed the slip test and had been failing is because when the person was here, I said, I don't know how to read the report. Can you tell me? And he said, oh, you've actually failed quite substantially. And so they called us in to try and help them rectify it.
Yeah.
And so as part of what we do, we're like, well, it makes sense not just to give you a report, but when we do a slip test, we give you, number one, you've failed or you've passed. And number two, because you don't know how to read it, here's some things that you could do to rectify it.
Yep.
You don't have to use us. You can use anyone, but here's the 3 things you could do that will help you fix the problem.
Exactly.
And I like what you said before about what you do with the drone reports, that you've got engineers looking after it. Like it's not just here's a report, here's the photos, here's the data, but here's something that's in your hands that you can now action, because otherwise it's like what you just said before, it's another language for these FMs, isn't it?
Well, we're not builders, we're not engineers.
No.
We're a technology company.
Yeah.
We're drone pilots, we have handheld scanners, we have drones. We know how to operate them safely. We're certified by CASA. All the compliance for that side of things.
For what you
done.
do is ticked.
We fell down a lot of the time because we were just providing the photos in a model, and people were going, well, I don't know what to do with that. And I think it's similar to what you were saying with the slip testing. They don't know how to interpret the data.
Yeah. What does this number mean? What's a P? What's an R?
So what we love doing now, and what a lot of the asset management companies and facility managers are now doing, is getting us to engage with their engineers and their risk company and their contractors. So what we do is we'll go capture the data, we'll process it and put it onto a particular software that is best suited to that particular asset or portfolio. And then we'll have meetings with the engineers or the builders and the plumbers and the roofers and anybody that needs to be able to see this data and interpret it, and we'll train them how to use the software and how to be able to look for defects quickly, how to annotate the defects and how to share the defects with people. So that's when everything started to really blow up for us, is once we started engaging with the smart people. Because we can capture the data, right? We can get the close inspection, we can create the 3D models, we can process it, we can host it. But once these engineers started getting the data, they were really seeing how the roof designed, from roof deflection, is the roof moving over time? Are the gutters blocked? The plumbers not having to walk to the edge of the gutters now can now go, oh, hang on, I might be losing the annual roof inspection, but I'm just picking up all this work now because there's 25 issues that I couldn't previously find, and now I'm getting extra work. I'm not losing any money anymore. Everybody's benefiting from it. So even though they might be getting some extra work and some extra money, and the asset management company might go, well, hang on, they're making more money now. There's less issues. That initial outlay will stop the issues from occurring.
Wow.
So an FM can get you guys out to do this.
Yes.
Is there any reason why a building or an FM would purchase a drone or have their own drones? Or is it just we hire them, we hire a technician to come out and operate it?
If a facility management company wants to go down the path of getting their CASA certification and then pay for the FMs or somebody in the team to have the remote pilot license, anybody can do this. And I'm all in favour of it.
I'd apply for that job.
Yeah. I think
that sounds fun.
I think the more people that are using this type of technology across their portfolios, the better. Whether you want to use Green Sky to capture the data and process it, or capture the data, we can provide you the photos and you can do what you like with it. Right? If we're capturing the data, that's what our core business is. So then we can process it and either create the model for you to be able to report on, or we can just be your data capture partner. There's a lot of different softwares out there where you can approach the software. They'll go and capture the data on your behalf, but you don't own that data. So the model that we've built now is we'll capture the data that you'll own.
Oh, wow.
Hey, we were talking about that before, and I said, no, don't ask about data.
We didn't want to put you in a tricky position by asking you.
That sounds like we're trapping him. There we go.
Wow. It all comes back from feedback that we've had from clients where they've gone, we've tried a specific software, like one of the big softwares, that are out there, that have all the bells and whistles, and they engage with pilots themselves to go and capture the data. But they'll process it locally, and then they'll hold that data. And then in 3 years' time, if you wanted to move to a different platform,
you can't.
Well, you've just lost 3 years of inspection data.
Oh, gee.
So from that feedback, what we decided to do is silo the businesses into different sections. So you got the data capture,
Yeah.
then you got the data processing, then you got the hosting, and then you got the reporting.
Yeah.
So we'll go capture anything, anywhere in Australia. So
Yep.
whether it's confined space, whether it's internal, whether it's the roof, the facade, the hard stands, we'll then take that data and process it locally here in Brisbane. And then we'll process that data and put it onto different software. So you might say that you want to use Trendspec
Yeah.
or SETI or Birdie or Drone Deploy or Pix4D or Nera. You pick anything that you
The
want.
library of software.
We still capture the data the same way.
Yeah.
We'll process it based on which software you're wanting to put it onto there. You view it, everybody gets access to it. And then in 3 years' time, you go, oh, we're not too fond of this specific software, we want to move. Well, we've still got all these inspections, so we can reprocess it. We'll normally save all the process data, so
Yep.
we can upload it onto the client's shared drive, or we can host it ourselves,
Yeah.
just on our local servers.
Yeah.
And then that way you can control the data and do what you want when you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of software, what they'll do is they'll charge you to have a certain amount of assets for a certain amount of time. But if you've got a 300 property portfolio, you might only have a subscription for 50 assets. Well, if we've processed the data, you can call us up and say, can we swap them out? And we can just re-upload the ones that are already processed, and then you can compare them from last year or 5 years ago or
Yeah.
things like that. So,
Wow.
yeah. So as the data capture company, we'll sit down with you and also go through the pros and cons of all the different software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell us what you want. We've normally got subscriptions for them all.
Yeah.
So we can process onto our stuff, or you engage with that company, get the data, get that subscription yourself, and we'll upload onto your account.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter. So if we're capturing the data, we can process it, and then you can do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now leaning in towards future planning and
Yeah.
those sorts of things, where do you see
It's exciting.
drones being used in the next little bit?
It's super exciting. So what I think is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years is nearly every asset is going to have a drone in a box.
Yeah.
So whether it's,
Drone in a box. It's like noodle box.
so what you'll have is yeah.
just like Littlebox, yeah.
So you essentially have one of the Matrice drones, just a little bit more of an upgrade. So who knows what's going to be in five years' time?
Yep.
But just say one of these drones in a box, set up in behind a cage, powered on site, whether it's on near one of the services or on the roof.
Yeah.
And then every night it's going to be able to fly and do your security checks.
Yeah.
So fly your perimeter, fly all your services. You can make sure that everything.
Without someone controlling it, it's just going to go.
Yeah, we can set up automated flight plans. So every night you'll have a repeatable flight around the perimeter at predetermined height with obstacle avoidance.
Yeah.
So you'll check the front gate, make sure that the padlock is still on there. You'll check the roof, because people get on the roof and they play around and they undo the padlocks to the HVAC units and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can check all those. It's got the zoom, it's got the night vision, it's got all that. So that's one of the things. And then you won't need a pilot to attend and conduct the annual, or, the assessment. So rather than, only doing one roof check a year, you could do it every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
We
Every
probably
night.
would do it every day. But as soon as a storm happens,
You could do it every hour if you wanted to. There's no stopping it.
so you hear on the news that there's going to be a wild storm come through.
Yeah.
Oh, I better get our drones up in the network. We're going to do a quick check of everything.
Get a baseline, yeah.
3 days before the storm hits.
Yeah.
And then we know where to send all the plumbers and roofers to do a quick check of, the quick touch up of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then post the storm, once everything's
Send it
died
out
down.
again.
Throw it again and see what damage has been occurred.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time you can't have tenants reattend. There might be fallen power lines, there might be, branches and bits and pieces. So this will just give you that snapshot, a quick snapshot, live feed back to a base where we're controlling the drones for you or manage
Well, and
it.
a lot of the time after storms like that, every single facility manager is on the phone to a service provider, and those service providers have a backlog of calls. Like there's a delay in service.
How I used to find out most of my information was from a complaint from a tenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a tenant would call up and go, my roof's leaking, because we'd only be allowed to go to site once a year,
Yeah.
especially if they're remote.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd have to engage with somebody else to go and look at the stuff. So, all these are doing is providing a tool for you to finally become proactive rather than reactive. But the way that the future's going with the drone in a box technology and a bunch of other technology that's going to come out, it's going to eliminate the need to initially get on the roofs with, feet on the ground this is
The way you describe it, it makes me picture like one of those dystopian movies where the drones are just constantly flying everywhere, scanning everything.
Yeah.
I understand, like you mentioned before, it'll go around the perimeter of your property and scan the gates and stuff like that. In an area like the CBD, are there rules and regulations around whether drones can fly around your building and stuff like that? So that there's
So CASA heavily regulate the airspace.
yeah.
So if you've got a company that's CASA certified and they've got, that means that the drone pilots are going to have their own drone license.
Yeah.
So they're going to be allowed to do what they're doing. So in CBDs, without proper traffic control, you're not going to be able to fly commercial buildings.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to mitigate the risk of being able to fly within 30 metres of people that aren't associated with the operation.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have a road closure to be able to do a facade.
So the
So we're
drone
not
in the
quite there
box
yet.
may not
For
be
the
in
city
the
yet.
CBD.
No.
Not yet, but
No, but there's now new approval methods where you can actually operate over or near people by employing a parachute. So you can put a parachute onto the drone
Yeah.
and then get certain clearances from CASA as part of your certification that will allow you to operate over or near people.
okay.
So it's not far away before we're able to do this. We can pretty much do it now.
Yeah.
But autonomously, it's a little bit away. So it's just a matter of, it's not so much CASA making the regulations more lenient, it's just the technology's there. There just needs to be...
as the technology makes it safer to do so,
Yeah.
then regulations will shift.
Because different drones provide different redundancies. Like no one's going to cut themselves with the confined space drone.
Yes.
With one of the propellers, but you will hurt yourself
Yeah.
with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's different things that you can do to
But
mitigate.
if it fell out of the air from a 60-story building
That
and
will
lands
cause
on
some-
your head, it might do some damage. Yeah.
Exactly. So with the parachute, deploying a parachute that will safely land and not cause anybody any harm. That's another way that we'll eventually be able to do a lot more inspections in the city. So until then, we prefer to have the inspections outside of Brisbane, outside of the CBDs.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's safer and then a lot easier. There's less risk to the public.
Yeah.
But once we can start doing them into the city every day, that's when things are going to be completely different, because you'll be able to do full facades, all the seals, all the windows. You could do thermal, you could do LiDAR, you can
Yeah.
do lift shafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to reach areas in the commercial buildings or the industrial sheds right up into the top corners, looking at
Yeah.
the nuts and bolts with the confined space drone.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so
It's
much
exciting.
for coming in.
Yeah.
It's been so interesting.
Amazing.
If a facility manager somewhere around the country wanted to reach out, get you to
Just
start doing stuff.
Jump on our website, greensky.group.com.au,
Yeah.
and just follow the prompts to get in contact with us. We'll get in contact with you. We operate nationally, so
Yeah.
Australia-wide.
Yeah.
We've got pilots in all the capital cities. So we've got approximately 100 pilots in our network that we engage with to conduct inspections.
Fantastic.
So we've got good coverage.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks so much for coming
No,
on.
thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, nice.
Right.